Daylight breaks over the ridge. The hounds strike. No crowds, no cameras, just a track and the hounds that bring the story to life. That's what this show's about. Dogs, dirt roads, early mornings, and the people who live it. This is Creekside Chronicles. Hounds, hunting, and heritage. I am your host, Heath Hyatt, houndsman, hunter, and a lifelong student of the outdoors. Here, we chase more than game. We chase knowledge about hounds, hunting, and living the outdoor life the right way. From bear country to back roads, this is where the hunt meets heart, and every story runs a different trail. So pull up your chair by the creek, leash up your best hound, and let's get after it together. Performance starts in the feed. Inukshuk's high-fat content fuels long runs and hard hunts, giving dogs the steady energy they need, while quality protein supports faster recovery after the work is done. That's why I trust Inukshuk dog food. Packed with energy and nutrition dogs need to go further, run harder, and recover stronger. If you want extreme performance, you can look them up at Inukshuk Professional Dog Food or CoreyNutrition.com.
Oh, I take it back. I saw a bird across the hill over at the hunting place crossing the road yesterday about dinner. And I took a picture of it and I sent it to Brad, and him and Boone went out this morning. I got it with about 75 yards, but it went on across the road. So
Well,
he barely missed it, he said.
Poor Boone. the animals are gonna be rough for a while till he gets up to moving on. That's for sure.
So he went to school. He was late, but he went to school today. So
well, good. He needs to keep on him straight A's.
Yeah. Cool.
All right. Welcome back to another episode of Creekside Chronicles. If you've been following along, we talk about everything from the woods to the water, everything in between. And just like I promised last week, we're going to follow up on our turkey hunt from the bluegrass state. We're going to recap a December bear hunt. We got our good friend Jerry Barker on.
How you doing?
Yeah, I'm good. We did not get to record this while we were at the cabin because we had a fish fry and a lot of people were over and everybody sat around the cabin and talked. We talked dogs, we talked hunts, talked turkeys. So we weren't gonna bust that up to record. So we're a little behind the ball, but we getting her done.
Yeah, we had a lot of knowledge going on.
Yeah, I learned some things, that's for sure. Old Randy, man, he'll anoint you, won't he?
Yeah. I think we call him the philosopher.
Yeah, well, that's that title fits for sure.
Yeah.
All right, so this is my annual trip. This is where I go. This is my third year, and I told Jerry down there, I don't know if it was Sunday evening or Monday evening, like this is one of my favorite trips that I take. Like he lives in a beautiful place. It's rolling hills. I mean, the scenery is picturesque. I mean, you can't beat it. And Terrell lets me stay down there at his cabin. Like, you open the gate, you drive in. I don't know, what is that, half a mile or more?
Yeah, it's about a half a mile.
Yeah.
That road, I don't know if have you ever been in the end of that road?
Yeah, we went out there and listened to turkeys one year.
A mile and a half or so. So it's a long way back there.
And nobody to bother you. Now the cell service is a little.
You gotta get in the car, don't you? They put that metal on that little cabin, and it killed the service inside.
Oh, is that what what happened?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I could set my phone up in the kitchen window, and I could get service. Or if I was out on the porch, I was fine. But when I went in or I went to the bedroom, you can forget. Like, and the time change, that switching towers is horrible.
Yeah. Terrell said he had to fix his phone where it wouldn't switch because He picks up that tower in Russell County.
Yeah. Well, so this is my annual trip, and I will say, Jerry and I broke the curse, but then we cursed ourselves again. So I don't know which is better. I don't know. I don't know if beginning a hunt on a good note is better than ending a hunt on a good note. We are that's still up in the jury is still out on it, and we'll maybe next year we'll be able to capitalize on some of these growing pains that we're going through.
Yeah, we got some learning to do. That's what it's all about, though.
Yeah. Well, all right. So, Jerry, let's break down on the first. So, the first day was we went into this property that I hadn't been at before, and we heard. I was trying to count in my head. I know I heard one behind the truck. I heard one across 2, 3, and one out there towards the barn. So 4. I know at least 4 birds. It could have been 5, but 4. I'm 100% on 4. So
they're at the close to the truck. I think there's a couple of birds that gobble right there.
Yeah,
because I've seen them before going up to roost, and I think there's 2 of them.
Do you think one of them's a Jake?
No, I haven't seen a Jake down there. But I'm sure they are, but I haven't seen one.
Right. Well, so we kind of piddled around till probably a little bit. We probably should have kicked it in gear when we decided what we were going to do.
Yeah.
So we made a trek around this big field, and so I just kind of lay it out for you. There's rolling field. There's, I don't know, I would say 200 or 300 yards of wood line, and then it rolls into a lake.
Yeah.
Does that sound right? Yeah. We kind of cut the field and the wood line, and we walked this. I mean, beautiful, just beautiful. Like if I was a turkey, that's where I'd hang out.
Yeah.
Like that's where I'd go. So we walked this road around to a cabin, and we set up, and the turkey would gobble. I mean, he was gobbling about every 30 minutes or so.
Yeah.
But he didn't make a move, and we did not know exactly. We didn't know that part where he was that good enough to make a decision. Knowing it now, I think we could have split up and maybe been able to corner him. But yeah, so we sit around till, I don't know, 11 o'clock. Well, it was 10 o'clock, and we decided to move. So in my mind, well, I'll finish that later on. So we go to another property that we've hunted, and we get pinned down by a bunch of hens. Jerry, we're walking up through the edge of the field, and I grab his vest, and I'm like trying to jerk him down so he don't see it. And I actually pulled his seat out. So we were there for over an hour, weren't we?
I guess so. We saw those 2 hens. They was there this morning.
Back in the same spot?
Yeah, same one. Yeah.
Well, the one we saw yesterday.
Yeah, right. There's a hen. I said, it's probably 2 of them. He said, yeah, there's the other one. So there's same place.
That's why that gobbler's hanging out there.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's got to be. You just have to cut him off there at the road. But anyway, so we got pinned down, but I tell you what, Jerry and I sitting there talking while we're watching these birds. I mean, it's so interesting just to sit there and watch. One of them, she was sketchy.
Yeah.
Like she got down through the field, and I mean, we're just laying right like towards the fence line. We're out in the field a little bit, but not like out in it. And the one hen's just a feeding. She's taking her time and feeding and doing her thing. Well, this other one gets down in front of us, and I mean, she just takes off she's not like full out running, but she's in a
fast walk.
Yeah, like she's at a jog, and she goes down and she gets in a creek.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, maybe she's down. So she piddles around in that creek bed for I don't know. It felt like for an eternity, but it's probably 5 or 10 minutes. And then she jumped back up in the field, and then she takes off running again.
Yeah.
And then she goes to another part of the creek. She gets in behind some there was some down logs there.
Yeah.
She fools around for a few minutes, and then she comes right out in the middle of the field on the opposite side from us, and she just works her way right down through the middle of the field.
Yeah.
And then she gets in behind. There's a sycamore tree and another down tree down here in this gap, and Well, Jerry and I lost her. We lost her. So we were looking, and finally I seen her pop back out. Well, she come back, and she was halfway up between the field and the road where we parked. She worked herself up, and she kind of zigzagged all the way up through there. And she got out in the road, didn't she?
Yeah, she went walking down the road for a long ways, and then she just took off flying.
Yeah, she just gone. Like, she just took off, and we're like, well, we know we didn't spook her because we haven't moved. And the other hen turned when it got halfway to the creek, and it turned and it come right back up a little draw in the field. And she finally topped over behind us.
Yeah, I don't know where she went to.
Well, we do know when we come out.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so
There.
yeah, so anyway, it's 11:40. So I asked Jerry, he's like, you want to walk down to the corner? And it's a pretty good piece through there. I mean, it's several hundred yards. And I'm like, yeah, sure. I mean, in my mind, I'm like, I don't have anything else to do today. We're hunting. So we walk down through the field and we get into this really nice patch. I told Jerry, like, man, if I was a turkey, this is where I'd be. It's open. It's got a couple trees in there. It's got a little bit of water running through it. It's just a perfect place. So we were calling, and we go into an edge of another field. We cross through that little patch of woods, and we come out in the edge of another field. And we're standing there, and I don't even know what we were talking about. What were we talking about?
I think we were trying to figure out. You were under the impression that we had to quit at 12.
Yes.
I said, well, since we're here, we might as well, because you never know about if you're going to get on a bird or not in the middle of the day. But I said, let's just walk up through here, and maybe we can, have an idea of how we're going to hunt this in the morning.
Yeah. So we got up through there, and that's exactly what happened. Now, we hadn't discussed the 12 o'clock yet, but in my mind, we're done. We're done, because in Virginia, the first 2 weeks you can't hunt past 12 o'clock. And then after that, you can hunt all day. So we get out in this field, and all of a sudden this turkey gobbles like 150 yards away. And I look at Jerry, he kind of looks at me, and I'm like, you hear that? The turkey's right there. So it gobbled again. So I literally walked back in the edge of woods, and I plopped down on a tree that had fell over. I just sat down, and my mask is off, my gloves off, and I'm like, this is my luck. And Jerry comes down there, and he goes, you gonna get that bird? I'm like, what do you mean? It's 12:05. He's like, we can hunt all day. And I was like, really? He's like, yeah, we can hunt all day. And I jumped up, put my stuff on, over the hill we went. We talked about this morning at work, but we had to cross down, and the bird was over a little knoll into the edge of a field, little hill, and the woods were pretty open.
Yeah, and it probably ain't that little field you're talking about. Probably ain't but about a quarter acre.
Yeah, it's not much. So I crossed the fence, and I grab a tree where I thought that I would, I'm like, okay, I can see the edge of the field. I can see here. But when I sat down, all that changed.
Yeah.
I changed my elevation, and I'm like, oh, I can barely see the field, and I cannot see over this hump. That turkey's going to have to pop up over that hump. And if he does, he's like 20 yards right in my face.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I wanted to get where we could see that little field, but it's probably a good thing we didn't, because if we'd have got a little closer, we could have possibly bumped him.
Well, I think if we would have got out to the edge of that field, I think if he was over the hill, I honestly think we probably would have.
Yeah.
So Jerry sits up behind me. He starts calling. Now, and I got pee to pick with him in a minute. We'll talk about that in a minute. So he starts calling. Well, the turkey don't answer him, but every time a crow calls, that turkey gobbles. So we know where he's at. So at this point in time, I'm thinking, all right, can I swing to the field? And if he comes up this little creek bed and pops up this ridge, can I swing over that way? So I'm like, if you're looking straight ahead of you, just give you a visual. I needed to shoot at 3 o'clock and 9 o'clock. So I had to swing, from 9 to 3. So I'm kind of adjusting myself the whole time. And every time he gobbles, I'm adjusting back to the field. And then he gobbles again, and I'm adjusting back to the creek. Well, I did not have a good setup. So this went on. So at 12:05 is when we heard the bird. we're set up by probably within 2 or 3 minutes at the most. And this turkey is gobbling, and he'll be quiet, and he'll gobble, and he'll be quiet, and he'll gobble. So I had done told myself, I need to get to the edge of that field. And I'm getting ready to literally crawl up over this little knoll to get where I can see that field, because he was in the field and he wasn't leaving it. Well, about the time I'm processing this and trying to talk myself into it, he gobbles, and he is literally in the field in front of me, 25 yards behind a multiple for rose bush, and I can't see him.
Yeah.
So now listen, I don't have a good setup. I want to say that again. I'm holding the gun. It's not on my knees. I'm holding it straight out. And I've been doing this for the last several minutes. So take a glass of water and hold it out in front of you. See how long you can hold it. So the gun's starting to shake. I'm questioning my life decisions here again. Like, why do you do this every time? And he gobbles again, and I'm like, Jerry's thinking I'm crazy because I haven't shot this bird yet, and I can't see this bird. I've sat down in a little gully, and I can't see. So as my muscles are telling me to stop, I hear thump, thump, and I look, and he is literally on the backside of the multiple rows right in front of me. Like it was like somebody dropped him out of the air. Like, I don't know how he got there. I didn't see him get there, but all of a sudden, boom, there he is. So I see his head, his fan, and I'm following him. And I'm like, if he steps out one more step, I got him. Well, he did. And I was able to adjust when he got in behind a tree. And I just swung just a little bit. And he gobbled. And when he come up out of that gobble, give him a dirt nap.
Yeah.
I give him a big old dirt nap. And I look back at Jerry, and he's looking at me. And I'm like, so it's 12:52. So we set up heard the bird at 12:05. It's 12:52 when all that took place. Even though it felt like days, it was literally only 40 some minutes, 45, 47 minutes. But that was a long, and he was not in a hurry, was he?
No, he wasn't in a hurry. He didn't have
no, he didn't have no hens with him. He didn't have nothing with him. He wasn't answering he knew enough to know where Jerry was at when Jerry called just a few times to get to us.
Yeah.
And I really think that was a big part of it. You didn't overcall, and you were giving those soft yelps. And like I said, it took him a while. And like I said, my arms were almost to the part where they couldn't held it no more, but they did.
Never gobbled out a hen call. Never.
No. Mm-mm. So we got in there and we took some pictures, and yeah, it was. So me and Jerry looked at each other. We're high-fiving, fist bumping. And Jerry's like, we broke the curse. And I was like, we did. We're not on our third day. We're at 1 o'clock on the first day. It's only going to get better from here. Well, yeah. Turkeys had a different idea than what we did.
Yeah.
So we go back the second day. We go back to the same property. Wait.
Yeah.
Yes, we did.
We're trying to get that bird out on that point from the cabin.
Yeah. Yeah. So we go back on. Yeah.
We heard the birds at the front. We didn't hear it the day before. So we decided to set up on those. We did, but they never did come out. I'm sure they would come out in that field because they always do, but they didn't come out in that field.
Yeah. So we leave the truck, and Jerry's like, hey, let's go on around to the cabin. And I'm like, Jerry, you know what's going to happen? We're going to go around to that cabin. They're going to gobble right here behind us. And what happened?
They gobbled right there.
They were right like 75 yards from us. So we plopped down. Jerry puts the decoys out. We plopped down, and that turkey gobbled several times.
Yeah.
On the roost, didn't he?
Yeah. That's where I think there's two. I think there's two birds there.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, he did not. He didn't come out. Like we didn't even hear him fly down. Like we didn't hear nothing. So we sat there for a long time, and then we decided, all right, if he is so close to us that, like, we sat there well over an hour, and then we got up and went around. There was another bird gobbling way across the field from us, and he was double and triple gobbling. I'm like, Jerry, let's go over and let's get on him. He'd triple gobbling. So we go over there, and about halfway to him, he gobbled, and then after that, he never said another word.
I don't know what happens. I guess maybe they get with hens. I don't know, but they just dried up.
Yeah. So by then, we just decided to call it a day, and we went to a couple fishing stores and bought some fishing stuff because I got a tournament. And then, so at the fish fry, we're deciding, what are we going to do tomorrow morning? Like, what are we going to do the next morning? And yeah, we decided to go back to where our Boone and Brad had heard some birds in there where we was at.
Yeah.
Monday evening. Yeah. So we go back in there, and I think Jerry was trying to kill me. We had to walk. You guys out in the Midwest, and I don't know. I'm in my mind. Can see Missouri and Kansas and Iowa. Like I can see this stuff there. They had disked these fields to plant corn. And you were saying it's so dry. I don't know if you guys are like, Jerry. I mean, we haven't had rain. Jerry and them's dry as dry can be. And we crunching through this disc field for miles, it felt like. In fact, I actually did my thing. We walked almost 5 miles Wednesday.
Yeah.
With that loop we made. But man, trying to walk through that disc ground.
Not easy 5 miles either.
No. Sinking up 6 inches in it every time you take a step was a little taxing. So we heard some birds and we went after them, and they just didn't cooperate. And we ended up hearing a bird that we went after. I don't think I've ever chased a bird that far.
Yeah.
Like he just kept going and going and going, didn't he?
Yeah. Yeah, he went I'd say that was the bird that we heard across the road. So I'm sure he crossed that road and went down that big holler.
Yeah, I mean he just kept going, and we'd try to close the gap, and then he'd be further, and we'd try to close the gap, and he'd be further. And
yeah,
we seen another hen out in the field. So yeah, by then it was up in way up in the morning. We had a pretty good trek back to the truck. Like I said, we almost did 5 miles. So by the time we got back to the truck, it was time to head back to Virginia. Now, here's my bone to pick with you, Jerry.
All right.
So you got to listen to this. So Jerry takes these boys hunting. He takes Boone, and one of these days we'll have Boone on here. We're gonna take Boone bear hunting. Yeah. He may be the life of the story by the time it's all said and done. But he takes Boone hunting where we go the first morning, and the turkey comes running in, like here I am. Boone has to shoot at this bird 4 times.
Yeah.
He has to get shells from Jerry because he's run out of shells, and the turkey's still standing in the field letting him shoot at it. And it's a big bird. Like it's not a little bird.
Yeah, it was a nice bird.
What was the beard on that thing?
It had 11-inch beard.
Yeah. Big bird.
I can't remember what the spurs was, but it's a big bird. They're going.
Then he takes Landon into where we actually killed the bird. And the same thing. Calls 3 times, bird comes running in. Here it is. And I was like, Jerry, every time me and you go, it's like the waiting game.
Yeah.
It's like
it took Landon a while to come in. He didn't just run in, but he come in pretty steady. But now Boone's come in. Well, I didn't start video when it come in the field, but I videoed almost 6 minutes of it until the shooting started.
Well, that's because you had to dig for shells. You had to put your phone down.
I jacked the shell in for him because he couldn't get it pumped. And then I had to feed him shells.
So I'm like, Jerry, what's going on here? How come you got them turkeys on a rope? They come in on a string. And when me and you, I mean, literally, I got thinking all 3 of our hunts. The first year, wait a second. I don't even remember where that one was at. Where was we at?
It was up on that hill down here off the creek.
Oh, yeah.
That was gone.
And that was 10 o'clock at morning.
He was going back and forth on that hillside. And
yep, we chased him down.
And catch me if you can, I guess.
Yeah.
Staring us to come get him.
Mm-hmm.
Got it.
And then this last year, the same thing. I mean, we had to wait this bird out like an hour. Like if you guys go back and listen to that podcast again, I sat down in the worst possible spot. My legs went numb. When I killed the bird, I couldn't even get up and go get it because I couldn't stand up. Jerry had to go up, and he's laughing the whole time because my legs are numb. And then this year's the same way. Like, I mean, we waited an hour, and I guess in the big scheme of things, it's not that big a deal. But I got to find out what you got going on with them boys.
You're gonna have to come earlier, I guess. You're gonna have to come in youth season.
We think they'll let me hunt in youth day?
Well, I don't know. 12-year-old.
I identify as a 10-year-old. Maybe Boone can do that and come hunt here. Just tell him he identifies as a teenager.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll tell you. Tell him the gate story on Boone. We got to tell this one because it's funny.
Oh yeah, we was on him because he missed a day of school. I probably shouldn't tell this, but he missed. So we were aggravating him, telling him we were going to turn him into a truancy officer, and he said, "Well, I got straight A's." So we was going down to the cabin, and so there's these double gates you got to go through to get to the cabin. So I stop and let him out. He opens the gates. I pull through, and he closes. They are kind of aggravating, they kind of swing. Sometimes they swing, and you got to grab one and then grab the other one before it gets back away from you. And so he finally gets them latched. Well, he realizes when he latched it, he was on the outside. He was on the wrong side of the gate. So he gets back in the truck, and I said, "I'm going to need to see that report card because I don't know about them straight A's."
He locked he doesn't put himself on out. He wasn't want to come to that fish fry is what it was. He comes down to the cabin, he eats all the pickles.
Yeah.
Every day he was in them pickles.
Pickles and Cheez-Its and Pringles.
Yeah.
You got to keep a supply for him.
He's a case now.
Because you never know when he's going to drop in.
Yeah, so that was our hunt. Like, first day was, I was packed up and done at 12 o'clock because I thought we was finished, and man, did it work out. Second 2 days was tough. Like, tough. Birds are just not gobbling. They're not gobbling when they hit the ground.
Yeah. Yeah, I like it when they gobble, but they don't always do that.
Well, I was just sitting here thinking, I don't think we had a turkey one answer a turkey call.
I don't either.
Nope.
I don't either.
Did not have one. None of them turkeys answered our calls.
Yeah. And, we've scouted a lot, but I usually try to take Boone or Landon or not Boone, Landon, but Dylan, because they do that. I don't know, they call it a screech, where I think that dude on the Hunting Public does it. I can't remember what his name is, but where they get that real high pitched scream.
Mm-hmm.
Dylan's really good. He's got more volume than Boone. Boone's pretty good, but he can get turkey to gobble. But that and the crow call, that's all we've used, to locate birds. Or usually when I go early in the morning if I'm off work and just let them gobble naturally. But
yeah, well, it was a good hunt. I don't care. I enjoy it. I enjoy being there.
Yeah, we enjoy having it.
I'm thankful for the hospitality and just the experience. Like, every year is great for me. So
yeah, we look forward to having it.
I enjoy it. It's almost like home away from home now.
Yeah. Yeah, he's cabin.
Yeah. All right. So let's recap. I don't think we've talked about this. Let's go back to December. So Jerry comes down and hunts most every year with us. I'm not really sure why he wants to torture himself like that, but he does. This year was a little different.
Yeah, it was different.
He usually comes in September, and we do the training season. So Jerry come down in December. Was it the second week?
Second week of December. That's when we come.
Yeah.
He said, "I'll have everything lined out. The dogs will be in shape. The birds will be in shape. We'll probably free one every day."
All right. Well, tell the story. It's your story to tell, not mine.
I don't remember what happened the first day. Did it rain? I know it snowed the second day, or snowed that night, didn't it?
Well, I'm trying to think. Did we not? No, we treed bear the first day.
Where did we tree them at? I don't remember. I'm going blank.
It was the second day that it was raining.
Okay, we treed the bears the first day, and it was
Yep.
snow. It snowed that night, didn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yep. And we rode around looking for tracks.
I know they had all that snow, and every time you drove under one of them,
Yeah.
it looked like you couldn't get underneath it. I was afraid we were going to get stuck there in one of them.
Yeah. Oh yeah. We went.
Now,
Oh yeah. It is the heavy. It was a heavy snow, and it took all the limbs and stuff down in the road.
I never seen it. It's heavier snow than that.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good thing we're in that Chevrolet. That Toyota wouldn't have made it.
Yeah, I don't like that.
But I didn't see nobody volunteering to go down that. Now Garrett would have done it, but I don't know that anybody else would have volunteered to went down. Yeah, Hunter and Greg went after we did, and they're like, "Are you crazy?" Yeah,
he drives forward, don't he? Garrett, don't Garrett drive forward?
No, he's got a Yoder too.
Oh, does he?
Yeah, it's just me and Greg and Hunter's the only three that's got any sense. Everybody else, well, no, Forrest is driving a Chevy.
Yeah.
The rest of them's the Toyota crew. We got to come up with a name for them. I don't know, but yeah, the rest of them drive Toyotas. But yeah, so we went looking for tracks. Remember, Hot Rod Holler said he had found one.
Yeah.
It wasn't very big, and it seemed like it was an older track. So I was like, well, we ain't doing anything else. Let me put these young dogs down. So we went and we put a couple dogs down, and one of them that doesn't want to venture off by himself is very frustrating. We've talked about that. So I got Houdini out. I had Lady and Chief out. I put Houdini out. Lady was actually taking the track, and we put Houdini down, and we got to listen to them trail that thing the whole way, didn't we?
Yeah, it was a good race. We thought we was putting them down on a sow.
Yeah,
possibly maybe even have a cub with it, but it wasn't. Well, we wound up treeing wasn't a sow.
No. Well, I think to add to that story, yeah. So anyway, we put the dogs down. I had 3 dogs. I had Lady, Chief, and Hootie down, and they trailed that thing. They trailed it, and then boom, jump treed.
Yeah.
And so Jerry and I was trying to decide the best way to go into it, and I'm like, well, they're straight below us. Let's just go this way. Now, guys, there's snow on. The snow wasn't very. What do we have? 3 or 4 inches.
Yeah, man, it was all on the trees.
Yeah, it's all stuff. You guys hunt in Virginia, you guys hunt in the snow, it was, everything was covered. Everything.
Really proud of that rain jacket you let me borrow.
Oh, did I give you one?
Yeah, you let me borrow that rain jacket, and it was probably a lifesaver.
Yeah. Well, I was going to ask you about that. So I put on, I had my heavy rain jacket on, and I put my hood up so it didn't go down my neck, because we all know how bad snow is down your neck is irritating. So I'm like, all right, Jerry, you sure you want to do this? And he's like, yeah, I'm going.
Yeah.
So we did whatever in the truck, got clothing. I put my gaiters on too. That helps that snow keep from getting up your britches leg. And
I think I put some gaiters on too. I think you got an extra set
of pairs. Yeah.
I just followed you, so you knocked a lot of the snow off. But
what is that the first time you've ever had to walk through something like that?
That snow? That snow, yeah. We got kind of hung out one night coon hunting in the snow similar to that, but it wasn't on the trees like that. It was just a wet snow, It piled up really quick. I know these hollers around here, they're hard to get up sometimes without snow, but you can't hardly cross them if they got a wet snow like that. So we come out. We went to the dog's treat, and then we came out another way. But it was that old wet. It just piles up really quick. So you get caught out sometimes.
I'll post a picture. So if you guys are listening to this, when I post this podcast, I will post a picture of what Jerry and I were walking through. And a lot of guys that hunt it know, but it's miserable. Like I mean, of course, I was dressed appropriately, and I didn't get wet. I didn't get, cold or anything. But
Yeah. It
we
wasn't at all.
we busted a timber cut. We had to cut the edge of a timber cut and get down in there where they was at, and it was like snow was just falling everywhere. Like if we hadn't had those rain jackets on,
Yeah.
like we would literally had to went home and change because we'd have been soaked.
Yeah, it's like you've been inside a snow globe or something. It's just all that snow on those trees, and I don't know, it does something to the sound. I don't know. It's like you're in a dome or something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. So we get down in there to where they're treed, and it literally, as soon as it seen us, it bailed out and went 20 yards and treed again.
Yeah, it wasn't very high to start with, but then it came down and then went up, and it didn't even go as high as it was. So it was just probably 9 foot high.
Yeah, it wasn't much. I mean, we could have smacked him in the hind end if we'd have wanted to. Mm-hmm. So, and I'm like, that's a good bear. Jerry, you want to kill it? And Jerry's like, I ain't got no gun. Of course, don't ask me because I didn't have one either. So,
yeah, I said, you go ahead and shoot it.
I was like, I can't. I don't have a gun. So, yeah, that was our first one. And like, but just what was that experience like for you? Like, what did you see out of that?
Loved it. I loved it. That's probably my most memorable bear hunt so far. That I loved it. Let's see, we wound up treating another one, right? Or maybe was it two more? One. Let's see, we went to one more that had a bear in it, and then
that's the next hunt we go on. Yeah.
Oh, this is the next day.
No, it was that same day.
Same day, yeah.
Yeah. You remember we was it the same? Yeah, it was the same day. Yeah, it was the same day. Because remember, we rounded all the dogs up. That one come out.
That hot rod and then went in there and got, right?
Yeah, because it come out again while we were sitting there talking about what we were going to do with it.
Yeah. Okay, I remember now.
Yeah, so they ended up training around the mountain there. Time we got out, like it was, they had done got our dogs and got off the tree and come back to the truck. So we had to have somebody drive my truck down to the bottom so we could walk out. And
right.
And then we're like, well, we might as well just go again, just keep looking for tracks. So we went around and we found another track. Were they opening in the truck on that? They were.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Remember, we were driving up the road and they blowed up in the truck.
Yeah.
So we were trying to decide whether it was the same bear or not. It was like, did that bear come out and come down through here? Or is this a different bear?
You're right.
Like we were going back and forth, and I'm like, I don't think that bear come back. There's no way he come back, crossed, come back in through here. So we got out the young dogs, didn't we? Yeah, we just turned the young dogs loose.
Right.
Yeah, and tell what was your video? What was that one like for you?
Well, that was a pretty short race, wasn't
it? Yeah, yes, it was.
It was a nice bear, but it wasn't as big as the first one we treated. But I mean, I told you, that's probably my most memorable bear hunt. That's my kind of walk.
Yeah, that wasn't 100 yards from the road, was it?
Yeah, it was pretty close.
Yeah, so we turned the dogs loose and they went up the mountain. They turned and they made a loop, and Jerry and I was literally standing in the road watching for the bears.
Yeah,
they were coming. They were driving. I mean, like Briggs, my young dog, man, he was cow, just yo, 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 yo. I was like, here they come. And all of a sudden you hear them, yo, throw that locate out. And I'm like, oh, they treed. And then they all come in there and started treeing. And we had to bust the brush again, like the snow, but it wasn't as bad on that one.
Yeah, they were in a tree too.
Yeah, that was up.
He was up there pretty good.
They was pouring the coals to him, weren't they?
Yeah.
Well, that bigger bear probably is like, these three dogs don't bother me. That other bear wasn't quite as big, so
yeah, he didn't stop till he was sure he was out of the way.
Yeah, but we were standing in the road waiting on that one, and they treed just out of sight where we couldn't see them. That's how close they were to the road. So yeah, I mean that was a good hunt. That was a good day, and I think the next day Jerry, I can't remember what we did.
I know it was real rainy one day.
Yeah, but you left the third day and didn't hunt, right?
Right.
So it would have had to been the second day. It had to have been the second day. I'm looking back now. It would have. Yeah, here's me and you. Yeah, here's me and you in the snow.
Yeah.
There's the big good bear. There's the next bear. And
It might be Tuesday.
Yeah, let me see here. That's the 11th and that's the 9th. Yep. So that day it did rain. You left that day. So yeah. So let me ask you a question, because I mean, I'm with the dogs all the time. I'm, even though you may see little changes, good or bad, a lot of times when you're with them all the time, you don't pick those things up. So you've hunted 3 years now. From the first time you've went until this last time, what are some different? Are you seeing any differences? Are you seeing something different, good or bad? What is your take on what you see out of the dogs?
You talking about out of the pack?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the first year, I know we relied on those old dogs like Spook, and I don't think the Kate dog you talk about, she was it. I think she had put the first year.
Yep.
So, and then you had that black and tan dog, Maggie, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
That was the second year I think I was over when you had her. And pretty much young dogs is what we hunted this year or last in 25.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't have really what, I guess they're getting seasoned now, but not as far as any like 5-6 year old dogs. We didn't have them, did we?
Mm-mm. So, well, Houdini's 4.
Yeah.
Houdini was 4, and I did put him down on that trailing track. So
yeah.
Everything else was 2 or under that we hunted that day that we caught those 2. But I say this, when I have snow and I can help find the tracks, or if I'm walking in the snow and I can find what they're running, like, to me, I don't need the older dogs.
Yeah, right.
Like, I don't. Sometimes would I like to have them on a walking bear? Absolutely. But like, that's a perfect time. I mean, I'm using our season as training still. Like, all right, I know I'm putting them in a bear track, and if I rode through the day before and I come through the next morning, I know the track is at least this fresh, hour old or whatever, and it just gives the young dogs an opportunity to learn and do it on their own. And I mean, I know a 2-year-old dog, a lot of people's dogs are finished at 2 years old. I know when I go to BB and Doug's and them, their 2-year-old dogs are, I mean, they're a long way. They're in good shape. I mean, they've been hunted. For me, hunting here in Virginia, that I get to hunt 3 months out of the year, my 2-year-olds are nowhere near finished. So I'm trying to give them every opportunity that I can to learn and do it by themselves and find out what I have. Like, I know what my old dogs will do.
Yeah.
Like, you've seen it. They'll catch bear. We don't need help. If they got help, great. If they don't have help, they'll do it themselves. But now I'm trying to figure out what them 2-year-olds, which will be 3 this year if you come.
Yeah, I would say, I don't know, probably 4, 5, and 6-year-old dogs are mainly, and I guess, they're hunting prime. The most valuable years are probably those 4, 5, and 6-year-olds. In my, I guess in my experience.
Yeah, I mean, once my dogs hit 4, I'm pretty, like, they're pretty much, what you're getting. You know where you're at. You know what the dog should be doing. And like I said, my 2-year-olds, like, I mean, Briggs and Lady, they were 2. They literally they probably had, 3 months of hunting, honestly.
Yeah.
If you break it down. I mean, yes, I've traveled and I went to Wisconsin, I go to North Carolina, but all in all, they've not had a solid 6 months of hunting. They just hadn't had it because of the way our scheduling and stuff is. So I don't know. if I have the snow, I am more likely to leave the other dogs at home and just take my younger dogs. And if I catch bear, that's a bonus. But I also know the value of that learning experience for them dogs.
Yeah. Yeah, that's I think that's probably a big advantage to, like having a pack. You can put them with seasoned dogs and they can learn from those seasoned dogs. And if you got, a couple of 4-year-olds, and you can throw a couple of 2-year-olds in with them. And then, it's probably when we can hunt, we usually hunt 2 or 3 dogs. And so, I think they don't pick that up, so you got to wait a little longer. They got to kind of learn it on their own a little bit more. Not that they can't learn from other dogs, but because they're going to learn the good and the bad. I always said if you hunt with whatever you hunt with, is what you're going to have pretty much. If you hunt with deer runners, then sooner or later you're going to have dinner. It's what you're going to wind up with.
Mm-hmm.
Unless you got something that's really seasoned, and it's going to be able to turn those races down that you don't want. But yeah, like your 2-year-old dogs, I think you'll see glimpses of brilliance in them. But as far as night after night or day after day, even 3-year-olds, if they're hunted a lot, I think a 3-year-old dog should be pretty set and established. But I would say mainly 4, 5, 6-year-old dogs are the ones that you can rely on. You know what you're gonna get when you set them down, and pretty much. I think after that, when you get up in 8 and 9-year-old dog, they start to get a little bit of, I don't know, they start doing the crazy stuff again, or ones I've experienced to have, get a little senile or something.
Yeah.
I think the 4, 5, 6, 7-year-old dogs are I think that's the best time to, as far as just the consistency and the ability and just being able to know what you got when you set them down.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I said, I try to use the snow as a training tool. And again, to me, it's not about the end result, even though that is what we're after, is to catch game. But I have to utilize my seasons to the what benefits my dogs the best. And sometimes it's keeping everything at home and just taking, like I said, that first tree we had Houdini, which is 4, Lady, who was 2, and then I had Chief, who he's 13 or 14 months old. And Lady and Chief was going on with that track before I put Houdini down, and I kind of wished I'd have held him back now, but once he hit that track, he was gone, so it wasn't nothing I could do about it, or nothing I wanted to do about it. So, well, and you're gonna make it. You're gonna try to make it this year, hopefully.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to. Hopefully.
Yeah. Well, and then if not, I guess next April we're gonna do it again.
Yeah. Come on back. We'll chase these birds around here.
Lord willing, and the creek don't rise. Yeah. Well, Jerry, I appreciate you. I definitely appreciate your hospitality and your friendship, and like I said, it's been a great experience so far. And I was thinking about it while I was sitting there waiting on that bird for 52 minutes. Like, over the last 3 or 4 years, we've spent quite a bit of time in the woods.
We have, yeah.
So, I mean, to me, that's what it's about, is sharing those experiences with people. And
relationships, building them.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have the bird population you do, and of course, y'all don't bear hunt like I do, and it's bringing people into your world and sharing those experiences, and I truly, truly appreciate it.
Yeah, I really appreciate you having me over to bear hunt, because it's just a new experience for me, and I always kind of wanted to be under a bear tree, so I got that accomplished. So.
Well, next year, not this year, next year.
Now I want to be under another one. So.
Yeah, well, yeah, then we'll get Boone.
Yeah.
I think what I'm gonna do is lasso. I'm gonna lasso one, and tie it to his belt clip, and let it drag him around for a while.
Yeah.
Hey, I told him, you keep missing those birds like that, we're gonna cut your shirt tail. He goes, well, I'll just wear 2 shirts.
He won't quit shooting.
No, he doesn't. He trigger happy, ain't he?
Yeah, he's been shooting since he was, gosh, I guess 3 years old. He had a little BB gun. I had a little 22 cricket, and I cut the stock off of it so he could shoot it. That's how little he was. You know how little, small those rifles are. And he shot squirrels out with it. And he got to where he has got a little peep sight on. He shot raccoons out with it. He shot everything with it. But I don't know how in the world he gets in some awkward positions sometimes when he's shooting, but he can hit. Except turkey. I don't know what turkey.
Yeah, well,
turkeys. And I don't know if he's ever missed one, but he sure missed that bird. Of course, that's the first time he kind of graduated up to, of course, my brother-in-law has 4 boys, and the oldest one's 17, and Boone's 11. So, they're scattered out. So they've all tagged along behind me, and so, he's the last one.
That's going to be a wrap for this week's episode of Creekside Chronicles. We appreciate you spending your time with us, whether you're in the truck, in the woods, or sitting by the creek just listening along. Thank you for walking this trail with us. And we got to say thank you to W Supply for hosting the podcast and supporting everything we do. Be sure to check them out and go to wsupply.com for all your hound hunting needs. Until next time, keep your dogs fed right, those leads tight, boots muddy, and we'll see you at the tree.
Tailgate drops before the light, coolers packed and the rig sitting right, tracking collars charged, beeping green, boots in the bed and the rifle's clean. Dog box rattling, engines hum, we're chasing bear till the day is done. Old ring barking like he knows what's near, nose to the wind, tail full of cheer. From the Virginia mountains to the Carolina clay, we're burning fuel and miles each day. Every turn's another tale, through mountain mist and paper trails. We see the sunset red in Tennessee, rise through the fog in old WV. North Carolina's pines echo loud with the cry of a hard-run hound. New York forest, Maine's deep snow, Vermont valleys where the black bears go. Truck keeps rolling, wheels don't care. We're chasing daylight, chasing bear. Rest stops few, the roads are long, but the fire in our hearts still burns strong. Wisconsin mornings cutting crisp and clear, Canada's wildwoods drawing near. Still got states we ain't run, but that hound dog fever won't let us quit. We see the sunset red in Tennessee, rise through the fall in old WV. North Carolina's pines echo loud with the cry of a hard-run hound. New York frost, Maine's deep snow, Vermont valleys where the black bears go. Truck keeps rolling, wheels don't care. We're chasing daylight, chasing bear. Gas station coffee, Alpha XL on the dash. Another back road, another bear track. Friends made fast and stories told slow. Under stars where only hunters go. We see the sunrise gold in Canadian air. and it sits on a trail down in Appalachian. Packing steel and leather, grit and care, we're built for the road and chasing bear. So load the dogs and slam the gate. There's a trail ahead, we won't be late. From dawn to dusk, we're always there. Chasing daylight, chasing them bears.